Welcome to Business Spotlight Series. I'm Paul McCarthy, and today I'm joined by Martin Baker from Baker's Garden Buildings. Martin, it's great to have you with us today. Could I start by just finding out a bit more about you and your business?
Yeah, sure. So Baker's Garden Buildings has been around since 1985. My father founded the business and I joined him in 93 as a carpenter. And we're really evolving this business to try to be the best in the UK. We've never hidden away from that, and really using our technology and experience to make the buildings better than people expect. So they're more like extensions in the garden now. So yeah, just evolved since 1985, and really got to a really nice place now.
Are you a B2C business, B2B, or a bit both?
Yeah, no, mainly B2C, almost predominantly B2C, although we have a lot of garden designers and swimming pool companies that we work alongside that they recommend. But we still like to work directly with the customer themselves because most of our buildings are bespoke and therefore there's thousands of options and no one else would know it. So they kind of hand us over and we work direct. So yeah, that's predominantly what we are. But I just want to get into the B2B market or to share what we're doing with professionals, so people are aware of us now because so I'm proud of where we got to.
Brilliant. And you say we, how many people have you got working for you?
Sure. This is where you say half of them, isn't it? So there's actually fully employed. I think we're at the moment we're at 16, and then we have a number of known contractors, electricians, and plumbers we work alongside. These aren't subcontractors in the traditional sense. They work alongside us under our umbrella. There's another five of them, and then there's about another 10 people that we work really closely with in marketing companies and things like that. So direct 15, but around 25 people who are involved in the business.
Brilliant. Okay. And what sort of area do you cover?
So London and the home counties, anything pretty much 2 hours away from our factory and show centre here near Burgess Hill, just south of Gatwick. We do a little further without the complete package options. Complete package is the base and the electric, so a bit further for our building only. And we go a little bit further than that for people who want specialist rooms, wet leisure, swimming pool rooms, which we do a lot of. So around about 3.5 hours maximum drive time. And that's for servicing. If there is an issue, we want to be able to react quickly to a problem, and there's a point where you just can't if it's in the Outer Hebrides. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And obviously, you said it was your father started the business to begin with.
Yes.
Why did you join the business? Did you have to? How did that happen? What was your background before joining the business?
Yeah, okay, so there's probably an hour there if we could go into it too much. But the truth is that um, I'm dyslexic. School wasn't for me. I'm a late 80s leaving of school, so there was no real support for that. So I didn't leave school with any great exam results. In fact, none, if I'm honest with you, apart from my woodwork. So I'm natural with my hands. I've always been passionate to work with Dad. So I was, as he would call me, the floor manager at 11, which is he gave me a broom and told me to manage the floor around the guys making the sawdust. So it really was something that was passionate a bit for me, and I loved it. What I didn't want to do is go off and train as a carpenter. I felt a bit rebuffed. I didn't really like that from Dad, but he did make me do that, and it's the best thing he's ever done. So he's a wood machinist, I'm a carpenter, and between us, we've then got the knowledge to be able to really push the business and know what we're doing, and not just have a guessing game. So yeah. So now it was a passion of mine. I'm proud it's a family business. Dad is, although in today he is fully retired. That's fully
Right.
retired, comes in twice a week. Just helps out. He's still my kind of go-to for just sharing a problem, and all of those things, and helps me, just kind of big picture stuff. But yeah, so no, it felt natural to do it. I love it. It's my life's work.
Fantastic. And what is your secret sauce? So what is it that you're really good at and sets you apart from your competitors?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's two parts of that. One, it physically is the product. We are not using timber. We're able to give like essentially like an extension in the garden. Sorry, a home extension, but puts in the garden, finished in 2 to 3 weeks. So I think there's a product thing, but if I really break that down, it's actually listening to our customers, and therefore we listen to what they want and understand their needs, and therefore it's evolved from that. So I think the secret sauce, if you use that term, which I like actually, is that we understand what our customers want, we listen to our customers, and then we replicate that, and that has evolved for the almost 40 years that we've been going. And I think that is the secret, that we listen.
Okay, fantastic. And is there a particular person that's inspired you along your sort of journey?
Well, if I didn't say Dad, he'd shoot me,
I
I
thought
think.
you'd have to.
But no, and I think that's probably genuine.
Yeah,
The seeing my dad's hard work. They always say there's this generational thing. First generation really struggle. Dad put everything on the line, remortgaged his house, was up to his neck in debt. I think second generation, as I am, you get to see that hard work and you work off the back of it. Nothing's given to you. We come from a council flat in Crawley. We know that it could all go wrong, and I think that's a driving force. So Dad definitely is the inspiration, and gave me the core kind of ethos and ethics to just have to work hard, and that's so I think that's it.
fantastic. And you're still dragging him in now, even when he was dragging you in when you're 11. You're getting your own
Yeah,
back a little bit.
yeah, that's exactly that. Yeah, he calls it retirement. Instead of going to play golf, he comes back and works in the works in the office. Does a little bit of, actually, what he does is checking cutting lists. It's like a little brain game for him. So he really enjoys that and trying to catch the staff out with their
Fantastic.
processes. So yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
How long ago did you sort of take over the sort of running of the business?
So more formally, I would say that was around about 12 years ago. Been a real gradual kind of blending process.
Of
I
course.
think we started talking about Dad's exit plan even 20 years ago. But yes, so very gradual, but certainly the last 10 years, it's been fully me. And I got to say, the other genius in my father's, to give him some due here, is lots of businesses, the father doesn't give up the reins and doesn't
Yeah,
allow sons to go. And there was a day when he was like, it's yours, you make the mistakes, I'll back you. And you make mistakes, there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, been a great process. But yeah, the last 10 years plus has really been my direction. There's a story when I told him where I wanted to get to, and he said, "I'm too tired for that, but you go for it, buddy." So it's a really nice kind of handing over the reins and leaving it to us.
so in that last 10, 12 years since you've really been fronting up the business, what do you
Mm.
think has been your biggest learning?
Hmm. That's a good question. I don't know really that on that one. But believing in yourself, I think, is a big one. I'm understanding for me that I'm a good people person, good manager of people, as well as understanding clients. And I also think probably the biggest one is, if there's a problem, run towards it, not run away from it. I found that any time we've had any issue with clients, and it is rare because of the processes we have in place, the quicker you run to it, the smaller the problem is. So I think that there's been, never shy away from that. It's probably the biggest lesson I've learned. Hiding away from anything, the problem just gets bigger. So yeah, that's probably it. But every day's a learning day, right?
Absolutely. And you said that before as well, but I think that's a
Yeah.
fantastic point about running towards the problem rather than running
Yeah,
away.
yeah, and I've instilled that through our whole, our whole management team. If there's an issue, we all want to know about it almost instantly and decide what we can do about it quickly. And then normally, if it genuinely is a problem, which is rare, we can just nip it in the bud.
Brilliant. Okay. So good customer service then, I'd imagine, off the back of that. Really
It's
good.
the thing I'm probably most proudest of. Yeah, yeah,
Fantastic,
yeah.
fantastic. So there's been quite a lot of challenges in the last few years, whether you say Brexit, COVID, economy, you can list them, I suppose. Have you had to make any significant changes over this period of time to the business?
Well, yeah, we had to try and triple production because we are one of the companies in COVID. You lay in bed dreaming of these days when people are throwing deposits at you, and well, that happened to us. An emotional day when we closed the factory down for 3 weeks. Staff coming back in to tell them our order book was already 1/3 bigger in a 3-week period of close down,
Wow.
and it went a bit crazy. So the challenge, it sounds great, but the challenge is we're manufacturing for raw materials. We're renowned for our quality, and is actually increasing production. We really needed to treble production, but we actually only managed to double it, but keep the quality there. So the biggest challenge was enjoying the good times without losing any quality to service or product. So we had clients at some point that were waiting a year for our buildings, which is, unprecedented. But we just had to be honest. We can't build them any quicker because we don't want to water down the product. So that was the biggest challenge initially, and then after that, materials in pricing and in supply was massively or potentially a massive issue. But I've got a great supply chain all around West Sussex, all around Sussex, I should say, and surrounding southeast area. I've got good relationships with them, and that paid dividends in a period where they've got to decide who's getting the materials. We didn't have one delay, so I'm really proud of the supply chain that we have as well.
Amazing. So growing that quickly, doubling in a short period of time, is a huge challenge, and that can kill companies, can't it? How did you manage to do that so well?
If I'm honest, 100-hour weeks is the secret. Well, yeah, 100-hour weeks. Got a new we expanded the management team. Got some great systems in place. So one of the guys that joined us, who's actually now moved on as we've gone back to a more normal size, a guy called Mark Roberts. He came in and had some good experience, helped us set up some computer systems that are better. So we actually infrastructure in systems. A lot of hard work, a lot of just talking to people. We have intermediates, rookies, and pros. So we only ever put a rookie out with a pro, so they could teach and keep the quality there, and have somebody to sanity check. So it was really, we already had good systems in place. It's kind of just quickly expanded into systems to allow us to keep that control. And it's really good. Now we know we've done that really well.
Fantastic. That's a good learning for lots of people, which is get the systems in place before you get the people in there.
Yeah. And now we've got them, and obviously we've seen a decline slightly from COVID being less, and then also obviously with the other crises going on at the moment, we've clearly seen it slow down. But we also know when it picks up again, we're ready to go with our systems. We can expand that really easily. So that's another thing that we know. You invest that once, and it's kind of done. It's there, sitting there, ready for us to increase again if we choose to and want to, and have the capability to.
Fantastic. And we've gone a bit into the past, and that's going to the future. So what are going to be the sort of top 5 challenges, or sorry, the top 5, the challenges you're going to see over the next 5 years?
I think that the challenge is going to be the credit crunch and all those things. I think that's just going to affect all businesses. We're essentially a luxury item in most instances. Some of our offices are essential. People are having babies and need to get out the spare room and things like that. So I think that the bulk of our purchases are luxury. We are high end, so I think that's going to protect us. But I do just think generally having an increase in sales is going to be a challenge in this period of time. Really a drive of mine, whether it's a challenge or not, is really understanding where the latest innovations are going, and for me to try and get in with them and make sure we get them onto our show centre here and display them. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Having been in business so long, it's you kind of feel like we've got a lot set up and going. So sales is going to be a challenge to get back to COVID times, when hopefully we never have that again. So it's so there's I don't feel massively challenged at the moment, apart from just keeping up our good name and making sure we're aware of the innovative products out there and that we utilize them.
Fantastic. And what about your aspirations for the next 5 years? Where do you want to take the business?
I want to, weirdly, people talk about growth all the time, and I'm not necessarily sure that that's where I want to be. A bit of growth would be great, but actually just to consolidate what we're about, which is a people company, being proud of my staff, being proud of the clients, looking everyone in the eye, knowing that they've, we've done them proud and they're really happy. And I think that for me personally is actually starting just to back off a little bit, letting the daily running happen, which is happening now. I love sales, so I want to keep in with knowing all my clients, working with them like in that manner, but then handing over to the team and the systems we've got in place. So I think it's more about the business. I think we've got in a great place. It's making sure we're 2 steps ahead of our competition, and actually enjoying the days. Which I think is really important. And we all forget in business that. Particularly with such a hard working time through COVID for us, which to say is a lucky position to be in. actually finding that work-life balance and enjoying it.
Fantastic. So the business is going to support you for a while then. Is that
That'd
what
be
you?
nice. Yeah,
Yeah. Sounds
yeah,
great.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm still, I'm still the right side of 50, but working on ways that I can slowly exit the strategy, the business and the strategy behind that. I'm looking at employee ownership and other things where we can keep the good team together and keep everyone motivated, and secure. So it's quite. I think the next 5 years is quite an exciting journey on that side of things for me, which is what do we do next in who's the next owner and the next leader of Bakers.
Fantastic. And if you could start again, would there be anything different you would do?
Not massively, I would say. I've really enjoyed the journey. Maybe I think that if I was starting again, probably it's just to get higher end quicker. I think we're a bit fearful of making too expensive buildings at first. I'm definitely not afraid of that now, because if you can justify why the quality of your materials and workmanship is better than others, then go for it. So I think that I held back a bit on that. We could have maybe been a couple of years further ahead in innovation. That said, COVID done that for us. It enabled us to have the confidence to accelerate the show centre and the product rebrand, which I should have done a number of years ago. We're originally called Baker's Timber Buildings, and we haven't made a timber building in earnest for around about 8 years. So there was a few things that maybe I would have done a bit sooner, but there's not a lot I'd change, if I'm honest.
Okay, is that sort of maybe taking a bit more of a risk, being a bit more brave, maybe a bit?
Yeah, having a bit of confidence in yourself that
Yeah.
you're right. But I remember selling the first £30,000 building and thinking, wow, people will spend that, and that was 18 years ago. And we're now selling buildings that can be up to 90 to £100,000 as a whole project, with the base and the electrics and all the bells and whistles, and generally sit between 30 and 80,000. So yeah, it's having that confidence that we've got a product that's right and there's a market for it, and we definitely see that, definitely. So yeah, that I think is something that I've never shy away from new innovation. We're putting a new building at the show centre here. It'll be in excess of 70,000 by the time we've done, but it'll be stunning, massive roof lights and pop-up TVs that come out of cupboards and all
Wow.
hidden away. So we're really pushing those things, and we know that clients love those tricks, and love seeing them at the centre to buy into them.
Sounds amazing. Can I have one of those in my garden, please? Sounds, sounds
We'll talk
great.
we'll talk later.
Yeah. And what bit of advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
Coming back to the beginning, having left school with no real exam results and not having the best of support in that time at school, I think the one thing it would be is believe in yourself. I have found something that I'm good at, and I kind of always joke is that, of course, Baker's is around as long as I am because it's the only thing I know I can do well. Maybe I'm doing myself a bit of injustice, but believe in yourself, I think, and believe in your soul and in what matters to you. I realised in making some award applications, actually with Diamonds, with finalists, in how little like profit actually is at the forefront of my mind. It's having happy staff, having happy clients is much more important, and that's what allows you to sleep at night, not how much is in the bank. If you do all that well, the money will come. So it's I think that would be the thing, is just believe in yourself, because if you do that, you're going to be fine.
Fantastic. And are there any sort of projects or things that you're working on at the moment that you'd like to elaborate on at all?
So yeah, there's other two things. One I should have maybe said earlier is another bit of the pride of the drive is our full only 5-star reviews. So that's something I didn't mention earlier that I'm really proud of on Google. So that drive is good, and part of that is then clients buying into us. So the project I'm most excited about, we're working on now. We're probably 2/3 of the way through. We're working with some of the best brands in the industry. It's 2 buildings. One is a family room. One is actually an endless pool room. It's the swimming pool inside that you swim against, with a massive canopy to the side, a bit like the building behind me here, but bigger. But then it's got a Grillo kitchen. We've done a stone wall with Oroco trims. We're working with Millboard on the decking. This is a project that's probably in excess of £500,000 spend for the client. It's a complete garden transformation. We're working with a high-end garden designer, I can't wait to show that. We have my YouTube channel, which is really strong, and at some point we'll be showing that. Typically, we need 6 months to a year for everything to look perfect. But that's the project I'm super excited about. It's our biggest contract ever, and it kind of gets us next level again, in what's possible. It's a client that just says, yeah, I understand it, I see what you want to do, and he's gone for it with us, and it's super exciting.
It's a real sort of flagship product, I suppose.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
brilliant.
And as you evolve, those flagship projects get more and more.
Yeah,
They get greater and greater, or you get clients that come to the center and really understand what we're about and go for it. We don't sell boxes here. We sell lifestyles and dreams. And it's kind of part of it. This client's great. It's lovely to work with, and it's something that I know when we finish this is going to be stunning.
fantastic. Sounds amazing. So if anyone wants to get hold of you, what's the best
Yep.
way of contacting you to speak more?
So loads of ways. We're all over social media. My YouTube channel is massive. We've over 2.5 million views there now, hundreds of projects there. So any social website is bakersgardenbuildings.co.uk. There's a contact us page there, or you just pick up the phone. Our phone number's everywhere. I won't just say it now, but it's everywhere. And just get in contact. I've talked about all these high-end buildings. We have, particularly with COVID, we've got a really small package of what we call pre-designed little offices. That's evolved into pre-designed garden studios and rooms. So we've got something for everyone, starting from £4,000 or £5,000 as a delivery plus kind of product that we're doing for the little office, up to 100,000. So although we're renowned for our big flagship projects, if you want a garden building of any description, then we can help. And with every respect to our competition, we know we're doing it a bit better, if not a lot better.
Fantastic. Martin, look, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a real pleasure talking to you, and all the very best for the future.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to share it with you. Thank you for allowing me to do this. It's really, really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Martin.